Hi everybody. So today we're going to look at Western Christian Dark Ages. So we've been studying the Roman Empire, and then obviously the Roman Empire falls. And by now you should have written down the little note about. So we talked about the Germanic invasions, and then the last note I asked you to write was the one about the division of the empire into three sort of significant pieces. And we're going to start off talking today about that first one, the Western Christian side of it. But before I do that, I want to just sort of go over like the big picture stuff. So the empire has all the little pieces of it, but I want to go back to the course and just talk about the connections, the big connections between all the things that we've been talking about. Really, the story begins, at ancient Egypt, but the most noticeable connections for us occur in ancient Greece. So although Egypt is kind of like the origin piece of this for us, we really have to kind of like go to Greece because that's the part that we recognize. Because Greece has, the similarities of ancient Greece in terms of our culture, even language, that kind of thing really come from Greece. We wouldn't recognize a lot of the ancient Egyptian stuff. So remember that ancient Greece then, is influenced by a lot of things. We talked about the Persians and Persian invasions, and we talked about the different cultural and military invasions of Greece, including some of the impact of things like Egypt and that. But then Greece becomes this, this significant thing, but it falls, as we know, like all empires, Ozymandias thing. All empires fall, and it falls mainly due to an internal strife. Most of the time, these empires fall because of outside invasion. But in this particular case, one of the few actual times, it's sort of major things where it was actually due to like civil wars. Remember the Peloponnesian War stuff, right? So then Greece falls, but while Greece is in its heyday, in classical Greece and all that stuff, there's another sort of little known area over in modern day Italy, and it's rising, or it's growing slowly, but it ultimately grows, and it's influenced by the Greeks in the south and by another group in the north, the Etruscans. And ultimately, they sort of join together to produce this one other culture, ancient Rome. And the Roman Empire lasts for like 1,000 years, and this is part of where we have to discuss. But ultimately, same as other times, outside invasion is one of the major factors why ultimately even the Roman Empire collapses. And it's left in sort of like three significant parts. You have the Western Christian side, which is like modern day Italy, France, England, Spain, like that area. That's the Western Christian side. And then the other side, and one of the other pieces, is the Byzantine side. And that's like Greece and maybe Romania, and you could move into Turkey and like those kinds of areas. And then the third significant piece is the Islamic part. What you'll notice is that from a Western culture side, we really have not a lot of connection to the Byzantine side or the Islamic side. Like, we don't have a lot of understanding in the West of like Romania, even Greece or Turkey. They're always seen as kind of like these other places, And the Islamic side of it is even more significant that way. We have even less connection to those things. And the reason is because during this period, right, it's about the Western Christian stuff and the insignificance of the Western Christian world during that period, right? And that period of the Western Christian world after the Roman Empire is a really like weak period. A lot of it is really, really weak for the Western side. We lose a lot of things. We lose literacy. We lose a lot of art and cultural things. And it's kind of like ruled by battle axe in a lot of ways, like the strongest warlords and all that stuff. So that's the stuff I want to talk about, is the side that actually impacts us directly in terms of most of our heritage, in terms of like European heritage. That doesn't dismiss any First Nation stuff, but in terms of the culture of Canada, the culture of the United States, and the culture of England, France, whatever, right? They're all tied to this period. So I just want to talk about that one first. Okay, thanks.